Hello, this is Miss Tina at the Sheboygan Falls Library. How is everybody today? We are talking about books. Imagine that, we'd be talking about books at the library. All right, let's get started. Hands go up and hands go down. I can turn myself around. I can stand up on one shoe. I can listen, so can you. I can sit, I'll show you how. Story time is starting now. All right, I think before we get started, we are going to talk about the parts of a book. So you all know, maybe you don't, this is the cover, right? And there are pages in the middle. We call this part of the book the spine, and that generally has the title and the author, sometimes the illustrators on that also. Speaking of author, who is the author of a book? The person who writes the words. And who is the illustrator? Anybody know? It is the person who draws the pictures in the book or creates the pictures. Sometimes they're paintings. Sometimes they're paper that's been cut out and made into pictures. All right. So we've got the front cover, the back cover, the pages in the middle, the title on the front, and the author and illustrator, the spine. And then when you open the book, sometimes it's a couple pages in, it is the title page, and that also tells you the title, who the author is, and the illustrator also. Okay, for those of you who are Frozen fans or enjoy Olaf, I chose one of our brand new books, One for the Books, by John Edwards, illustrated by Disney Storybook Art Team. This one's a little bit of a long one, so hang in there. Anna and Olaf strolled through Arendelle toward the town library. Now that Olaf could read, he loved to share all sorts of interesting facts. "Did you know squirrels can't burp?" asked Olaf. "And that bees have an extra stomach to carry nectar around in?" "No, I didn't," Anna said, laughing. When Anna and Olaf arrived at the library, Advar, the librarian, was hanging up a closed sign. "It's time for my family's get-together," he explained. Advar telling her the library was closing was the saddest thing Anna had ever heard. "Perhaps someone could watch over the library until you return," she said. But Advar wasn't sure about Anna's suggestion. She told Advar someone who adored reading and who loved to share stories almost as much as he loved giving warm hugs. "Those are great qualities for a librarian," Advar agreed. "Who is it?" Olaf asked excitedly. "You!" Anna exclaimed. "Me?" Olaf asked. "I'd love to help you." "And he's always got his nose in a book," Anna said with a laugh. "Sometimes I use it to save my place," Olaf admitted. So there's his carrot nose in the page. Advar warned Olaf that running a library was quite a lot of responsibility. There was checking books out and checking them in. There was taking books off shelves and putting them back. But the snowman's enthusiasm won him over. With his bags packed, Advar waved as he headed out of town. Olaf's fondest dream had come true. He was surrounded by books. He could read on a window seat. He could read while sitting on a bunch of books. Olaf was having so much fun acting out the stories he read that at first he didn't notice the curious faces in the windows. Olaf opened the library door and handed each of the children a book. Did you know that slugs have 4 noses? I found that out by reading. Soon the children were discovering new things as well. Did you know that snails have over 14,000 teeth on their tongue? Asked one. Each day, more and more visitors came to the library. Olaf greeted each one with a warm hug and a good book. After Olaf had been in charge of the library for 2 days, Anna decided to check on him. She had never seen it so busy or so different. Oh, does that look like the library they had before? There's a lot of big changes. What do you think? Asked Olaf. The snowman had done a bit of reorganizing. He had grouped some books on the shelves together based on their colors. And others rose like towers high into the sky. Still other books formed a rainbow that the kids ran under. It's certainly a unique way to arrange a library, Anna said politely as she looked around. The fairy tales make a castle, Olaf said. At just that moment, Advar returned. He looks like he could use a warm hug, Olaf whispered to Anna. I'm not sure that's the best idea right now, Anna said. This is wonderful, said the librarian. He scooped up Olaf in a warm hug of his own. For the first time in forever, the library was full of children. Most had come to discover new facts, and all of them wanted to check out books. And while they loved Olaf's new book creations, they did understand that the books had to be put back in order on the shelves if the kids wanted to find what they were seeking. Everyone offered to help. Because of Olaf's great success at helping the town discover new books, Anna made him the library's official ambassador. For my first act as ambassador, Olaf said, I want us to hold a book festival. I've read that festivals are like parties, and parties are my favorite. Everyone pitched in to make it a huge success. Sven offered reindeer rides, Kristoff held story time, and Anna and Elsa shared cookies with all. The whole village agreed that the book festival was a novel idea and a great triumph. They started making plans for the next one. This day was one for the books, Olaf said, smiling. All right, my next one is a little short one. Lola at the Library by Anna McQuinn and Rosalind Beardshaw. Lola and her mommy go to the library on Tuesday mornings. Lola loves that. She packs her books and her library card. Lola and her mommy walk to the library. Lola returns the books from last week. Next is story time. Lola loves that. Then Lola chooses her books. She loves that too. Then Lola and her mommy go home. Lola's mommy reads her a story every night. Lola loves that best of all. Lola loves going to the library, and readers everywhere love Lola. One more book, The Fox in the Library, written by Lawrence Polly, illustrated by Catherine Scherer. What would we do with a fox in the library? Now I've got you, growled Fox, but Mouse disappeared through a cellar window. Wait, Fox snarled, chasing after her down into the cellar, over a box, around a corner, and into a pipe. At last, Fox squeezed himself out of the tight spot. Where's that mouse? He growled and snuffled, but all he could smell was paper and people. There are people, he shouted. Mouse scurried behind some shelves, and Fox dashed after her. Suddenly, Mouse stopped in her tracks. Hey, this is a very special place, a place where you shouldn't annoy others, and you are being really annoying. I'm going to grab you. You're mine, growled Fox. Nothing here belongs to you, Mouse said with a giggle. You can only borrow things here, and I'll never be yours. This isn't the forest. This is the library. A what? Asked Fox. A library, said Mouse. Fox looked around and said, What's a library? A library is a place full of books to read and borrow. You need books to have adventures and to learn new things and to have new ideas, said Mouse. Then she picked out a picture book from the shelf and handed it to Fox. For you to give you new ideas. The picture showed a farmer and a cat. The farmer had chickens and a problem with a fox. The library felt silent. Suddenly, Fox slammed the book shut. Chickens? He said. Now there's an idea. Mouse nodded in relief as Fox turned and ran, leaving the book on his chair. You're supposed to put the books back, she called after him, but Fox was gone. The next night, Fox was back. I want to take yesterday's book home with me, and you, Mouse, are coming too. I want you to read the story to me because I can't read. Mouse shook her head. I'm sorry, I don't have time. I discovered a book of magic tricks, and I'm learning to be a magician. But the audiobooks are over there. Maybe you can find your book on CD. Fox was in luck. Mouse called out to him, You can borrow the book and the CD. Just bring them back nice and clean. And don't chew anything up. You'll need a library card, though, and... But the book, the CD, and Fox were gone. 3 nights later, Fox returned with a chicken. What a bother! I had a chicken between my teeth when she told me that chicken bones are bad for foxes. Is that true? Have a look in the encyclopedia, said Mouse, continuing to do her magic tricks. Chicken could hardly breathe, but somehow managed to reach the chicken section in the encyclopedia, a pet guide, a cookbook, and a Fox's storybook. Then the fox drifted off to sleep. Chicken drifted off to sleep too, only Mouse stayed awake, practicing her magic tricks. When the sun came up, the door opened and people started coming into the library. Mouse woke Chicken. Chicken woke Fox. They started to sneak out when Chicken spotted her farmer. She whispered to Fox, "If I went cluck cluck right now, you'd be outfoxed, wouldn't you?" Fox trembled. Then he narrowed his eyes and said, "Did you see what your farmer has under his arm?" Now it was Chicken's turn to tremble. It says, Chicken 100 recipes. 1 chicken, 100 recipes. Now it was Chicken's turn to tremble. "I know what," said Fox. "You know what?" said Fox. "I'll dig you a tunnel out of your chicken coop if you teach me how to read." Chicken nodded. They picked out a book that they both liked, then another and another. "Stop," Mouse called out. "You can't take more than 10 things out at a time and bring them all back when they're due." But the books, Fox, and Chicken were gone. So there she's teaching Fox how to read. All right, thanks for joining me today. Next week we are doing a little twist on the 3 little pigs, and you'll see when I read you the books. Let's finish with our song. Tickle the stars, tickle your toes, turn around and tickle your nose. Reach down low, reach way up high. Story time is over, so wave goodbye. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you'll be back to read some more books with me next week.